My name is Sonia, and I'm 54 years old. I raised my daughter, Krista, all by myself after divorcing my husband when she was only 3. He drank too much, didn't want to work, and never helped us. No matter how many times I begged him to change, he didn't care. Our money problems got worse, and I knew I had to leave. After the divorce, I didn't get child support or help from him. It was just Krista and me. Life was hard. I stayed home at first, taking small jobs I could do while watching Krista. I barely made enough, but I kept going. Some days, I skipped meals just to feed her. Even when I was tired, I reminded myself that Krista needed me strong. I promised myself she'd grow up happy, even if I had to struggle. As Krista grew older, I found ways to earn more. I started making handmade crafts, bags, small gifts, and other items. People liked them, and slowly my little hobby became a small business. I worked day and night, but at least we didn't have to worry about rent or food anymore. When Krista finished school and got a job, I finally had more time to grow the business. I was proud of how far we'd come. Just when life was feeling peaceful, Krista surprised me with news. One evening, she sat next to me looking serious. She said softly, "Mom, I'm going to marry Nicholas." I was surprised at first, but happy. Krista told me he was her boss, 5 years older, kind and dependable. I had seen a picture of him before. He looked polite and gentle. I just hoped he was like that in real life. Krista seemed relieved when I said I supported her decision. She smiled and looked like a weight had been lifted. Then she said, "I want you to meet him this weekend." Of course, I agreed. I was curious to see the man who made my daughter so happy. That Sunday, I waited nervously at home. Around 11 a.m., the doorbell rang. I opened it and saw Krista and Nicholas standing together. He greeted me politely and brought a box of expensive sweets. His manners were good, and I felt hopeful. We sat down, and he shared how they met. Krista blushed and told him to stop embarrassing her. It made me happy to see her smile like that. But then, during our talk, Nicholas asked something that changed the mood quickly. "Is your husband at work today?" he asked. Krista went pale. She hadn't told him about our past. I smiled and calmly said, "Actually, I'm divorced." I raised Krista by myself. Nicholas's cheerful face suddenly froze for a second. My heart dropped. Was he judging us? He quickly smiled again and said, "Don't worry, it's fine." But his reaction didn't feel natural. I tilted my head, a little confused, but I didn't say anything. After they left, I asked Krista if Nicholas had mentioned anything about me being a single mother. She said, "No, nothing at all." Still, something didn't sit right with me. That night, I couldn't sleep. Something about his reaction bothered me. I felt like there was more going on than Krista knew. A few days later, my gut feeling proved right. Krista came home looking upset and said, "Nicholas's family isn't happy about us getting married." I asked her why, and she looked down. "Because we're from a single mother home," she said quietly. "They think we're poor. They think I'm marrying Nicholas for his money." Her voice trembled. I was shocked and angry. We had worked so hard to build a decent life, and now we were being judged for it. Krista added, "Nicholas's sister said I just want money, and that they'll never accept us as part of the family." I could see the pain in her eyes. I asked her if Nicholas had defended us, and she nodded. "He told them I work hard, and I'm not after anything." That gave me a little comfort, but I was still worried. I knew how deep prejudice could go. Krista's face looked so tired. I hugged her and said, "Don't worry. I'll stand by you. Always." Soon after that, Krista said Nicholas's family wanted to meet us for a formal dinner. "They want to talk before the wedding," she said. "We're meeting them at a fancy restaurant near their house." I was surprised by the location. It was one of those high-end places that charge $300 per person. I had only been there once for a business event. I found it strange that they chose such an expensive spot for a first meeting. I wore simple clothes and light makeup. I didn't want them to think I was trying to impress anyone. When Krista and I arrived, we were led to a private room. Inside were Nicholas's parents, Alana and Kevin, and his sister Rhea. They didn't even try to hide their rude expressions. I greeted them politely, but Alana gave me a fake smile and said, "We don't want to be involved with people like you." I was shocked but stayed calm. Nicholas looked uncomfortable and tried to scold his mom, but she just waved him off. "Single moms are always looking for someone to support them," she said, laughing. Rhea joined in, saying Nicholas could have done better. My blood boiled, but I held my tongue. I didn't want to ruin Krista's chances for happiness. Soon the food arrived, beautiful dishes for everyone. But in front of me, there was only water. I stared at it, confused. Krista noticed right away. "Mom?" she asked. Nicholas looked stunned. Then Alana laughed and said loudly, "Poor people are used to water, right?" I felt sick. I had never been treated like this. I didn't understand why they were so cruel. Still, I sat there quietly, but deep inside, I was already planning my next move. They didn't stop. Alana called me useless, said I was full of flaws, and even called me stupid for thinking I'd be accepted. Kevin nodded like he agreed with everything. Rhea laughed, mocking my plain clothes. Krista looked heartbroken. I could tell she was blaming herself. Nicholas looked angry, but couldn't stop them. That's when I reached my limit. But before I could speak, Nicholas slammed his hand on the table. "Enough!" he yelled. "You're all grown adults. Stop ganging up on Krista's mother." I was surprised, so was Krista. Nicholas's face was red with anger, but Alana just laughed again. "You don't need to defend poor people," she said, still smiling. They thought this would end with me walking out quietly. But they were about to find out who I really was, and it would change everything. Just as the tension grew, Rhea suddenly narrowed her eyes and looked closely at me. "Wait, could it be?" she muttered. Her face turned pale. She stared at me, now visibly shaken. Everyone at the table turned to look at her. Kevin asked, "What's wrong with you?" Rhea didn't answer right away. She looked like she'd seen a ghost. Then she whispered, "Dad, your company is Globecrafts, right?" Kevin nodded, confused. Then Rhea looked at me again. "I've seen you before, in our company's office." Kevin shook his head. "That's impossible. I know all our employees." But Rhea ignored him. "She's not staff," she said. "She's someone very important." The room fell silent. Everyone stared at me, waiting. I calmly pulled out a business card from my purse and slid it across the table. Kevin picked it up and read it out loud, his voice trembling. "Sonia Rowland, president of Rowland Bags." The same brand Globecrafts was desperate to collaborate with. Alana gasped. "Rowland Bags? The one in all the department stores?" She quickly glanced under her chair at the handbag she had brought. My brand. "This was a magazine giveaway item," I said politely. "I'm honored you like it." Her face turned red with embarrassment. Kevin's hands shook. "We were supposed to work with Rowland Bags next month," he whispered. I nodded. "Yes, but after today I'll be canceling that deal." Kevin panicked. "Please, no. That deal was meant to save our company." I just looked at him calmly. I was willing to help. But now I see who I would have been helping. I have no reason to support people who treat others so badly. Kevin leaned forward, pleading. "I'm truly sorry. I had no idea who you were." I gave him a cold smile. "But you knew what kind of person I was before you knew my name. You treated me like trash. Now you're only sorry because you need me." Alana jumped in with a fake laugh. "We're family now, right? I'm sure you can forgive us." Then she added, And since we're family, maybe I could get some free products. I was stunned. After all the horrible things she said to me, now she wanted free handbags? Nicholas looked furious. "Mom, are you serious?" he asked. Alana shrugged. "She's rich. What's a few bags?" That was the final straw for me. "Even if Krista marries Nicholas, I want nothing to do with you," I said, my voice firm. Alana's smile vanished. Nicholas stepped in, looking ashamed. "I knew who Sonia was," he admitted. "I didn't tell you because I knew how you'd act." Kevin turned red. "You knew? And you still let us say all that?" Nicholas didn't back down. "If I had told you, you would have tried to use her, just like you're doing now." Alana yelled, "How dare you talk to your parents like that?" Kevin added, "You keep this up, and you're out of the family." But Nicholas just stood taller. "Then I'm out. I don't want to be part of a family that disrespects Krista and her mother." Krista held his hand, her eyes full of emotion. I was proud of him for finally choosing what was right. Kevin, Alana, and Rhea sat there stunned, not expecting to lose their son in the middle of a dinner they had planned to humiliate me. Alana tried to recover. "We raised you. You owe us," she shouted. But Nicholas didn't waver. "You raised me, but that doesn't mean I should accept your cruelty. I want a future with Krista, and you're not part of it." Alana began crying loudly, but it didn't change anything. Krista stepped forward, looking calm but strong. "We won't even tell you when we have children," she said. Alana gasped. "No, please don't say that." But Krista didn't budge. We left the restaurant together, Krista, Nicholas, and me, leaving the in-laws behind in complete shock. That night, I canceled the collaboration with Globe Crafts. The company president, who had been excited to work with us, was disappointed. But when I explained what happened, his mood changed. He was furious with Kevin and Rhea. The next day, both of them were fired. Without the partnership, Globecrafts fell into financial trouble. Kevin and Rhea had ruined the one deal that could have saved them. A few weeks later, they showed up at my office without an appointment. They looked tired and worn down. Their clothes were wrinkled, their eyes desperate. "Please reconsider," Kevin said. "If we get that deal back, the company might rehire us." Alana added, "Or maybe just help us a little. You're family now, right?" I almost laughed. "Family? You didn't see me that way before." Kevin begged, "Just some support, anything." But I stood up and said clearly, "No collaboration, no money, and no contact." Alana began to cry again, but I walked away. They had shown me their true faces. They didn't deserve a second chance. Nicholas agreed, and so did Krista. We never heard from them again. Time passed. 3 years to be exact. Krista and Nicholas got married, and we all lived together. Some people think newlyweds should live alone, but Nicholas insisted. "I feel better when Krista's with you," he said. He helped around the house when he wasn't working, and our life was peaceful. Then one morning, Krista came to me with a serious look. I worried something was wrong, but instead she smiled and said, "Mom, I'm going to be a mom." My heart filled with joy. We hugged, and I felt tears in my eyes. I had raised Krista through the worst times, and now we were heading into a beautiful new chapter. A chapter without judgment, without cruelty, just love, and a future filled with hope. Looking back now, I don't regret any of the choices I made. I stood up for myself and for my daughter. I didn't let anyone walk over us, no matter how rich or powerful they thought they were. The people who tried to humiliate us lost everything because of their pride. And the people who stayed loyal, like Nicholas, gained a family filled with respect and support. Krista is strong, kind, and about to become a mother herself. I smile when I think about what's ahead. Yes, life was hard, but we made it. And now, we're finally happy.